Shalom, I'm Dr. Yasapa with Zion Law School. Excuse me. Right now, I'm going to read from Deuteronomy chapter 28. I can read Biblical Phoenician Hebrew, volume 3. So this is the latest book that I've written. Shalom, and let me turn that echo off. So I'm going to read through it. I want to invite you all to come to class. The class will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's in exactly 59 minutes, according to my clock here. Okay. The link to enter the classroom is in the description box. Okay. The link to enter the classroom is in the description box. And I think also the comments. If it's not there, someone let me know and I'll put it in the comment. And you're welcome to come into the classroom if you want and share in the reading. This is not going to be a discussion. This is going to be a reading. Okay, it's just going to be a reading, maybe a little bit of discussion, but nothing deep. The study or the deeply insightful information we'll go through that in the class, okay, in the class. So that's scheduled at 9 a.m. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me pull the, pull the book up. This is volume 1 of the Deuteronomy chapter 28 series. I'll leave that here. You can come back and look at the video if you want to read what this is about. Let me move forward. Volume 2, this is the blessings, okay. This is a word for word breakdown, okay, word for word breakdown of every word in Deuteronomy chapter 28, okay. When I finish this, it's going to be about 5 or 6 volumes. Right now, I've completed 3 volumes, okay. So let me go down here to the text. This is the book you want to get. This you can buy directly off of Amazon.com. Get the international edition because it's less expensive and it's the same as the color. So if beauty is not an issue for you, you can buy this international version off of Amazon directly, and it's a lower price, okay? But this is the fundamental book that you should have. It presents all the pictographs, so like the ABCs. So this one is the color version. This is full color. This one is more expensive than the international version, okay? This book right here is the 10 Commandments. It gives a word for word breakdown and the etymology. So you can take a look at that. Any books that you want to buy, I ask that you buy it on zionlawschool.org. Don't buy it at Amazon or Borders or anything like that, because it's better for me if you buy it directly off of Zion Law School website. Okay, so let me go. We'll get to the first Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so you can see that we're dealing with the covenant or the contract, right? Deuteronomy 28, it begins in verse 15. The book is outlined by verse. So you can see chapter 28, verse 15, 16, 17, all the way through 29. So this book comes in just under 200 pages. So it's about 196 or 199 pages. I forget exactly. Okay. But anyway, you can get this book right now. It's available. I just published it. So let's go ahead with the reading. Now, this is the Paleo Phoenician Hebrew script. Okay, Paleo Phoenician Hebrew script. So the written word, of course, is a writing system. Okay, so this would be the Paleo Phoenician Hebrew, or just a Phoenician Hebrew writing script. Okay, so you're looking at Paleo script. In other words, this is the Paleo era, ERA, Paleo era. There are 3 eras. Okay, the line underneath that, this is the English rendering of this Ibaryath word. Okay, so underneath every one you see there's an English rendering, excuse me. So the Ibaryath, or the original Hebrew, is read from the right, far right to the left. So if you follow the cursor, you'll see the verse here. So we'll begin reading from here all the way over to the far left. And when we read that line, we'll come back to the far right, and then we'll read all the way over to the far left. Okay, and then we will repeat that, just reading the first line, okay, of each line. And when you get to this vertical bar here, that vertical bar means it's the end of the verse. Okay, so to the right is verse 15. Verse 16 will pick up here, going this way. Okay, so that's how this is organized. And below here, this is the way the King James Version, the 1611 KJV, renders this in the I forgot what it's called. I don't remember. The authorized version of the 1611. I think it's the standardized version. But if you go to 1611 KJV online, you'll see it. Just right now, I don't remember. Okay, so this is the way they rendered it. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Let me make sure my microphone is turned on. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, I'm back. I had to check to make sure my microphone is on. All right, so let's begin with the reading. Okay, and I'm gonna read slow so everybody can follow along. So here, this is verse 15. So Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Here you see verse 15, okay? So this is Wahayaha. And when you pronounce the word, say it smoothly. The goal is to develop eye recognition of these pictographs so you can speak the sound while you read them. And then once you achieve that, you'll be able to read, pronounce the Ibaryath words, and switch from reading and speaking, switch from the Ibaryath to the English. And believe me, that's a skill, okay? But if you come to class at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday, you'll develop the skill. It becomes easier. There's also a skill in training your eyes on which way to move. Okay, so these are all skills that you would need to develop. All right. So let's do it again. Wahayaha, ama, la'a. You see this little cross right here, looking thing, like a cross that's turned over. This is the ta. Tashama'ai. Now, I in this case is not a vowel, it is still a consonant, okay? Because this is a writing system, a language that has no vowels. It's all consonants. So Tashama'ai, baka. This is a very interesting right here when you see this. This is ka, okay, ka, but a Q, a QA. Okay, a QA. Let me point something else out to you. Excuse me, this is also a KA, right? A KA. So this is another sight recognition pictograph where you have to get used to. Okay, you got to get used to that and then know the difference. Okay, and then know the difference. Some people are able to pronounce this Q and you can really hear a Q, but when I do it, to me, it sounds more like a K. But there's one more that has the same sound, and I don't see, oh, here, this also has the ka sound. Okay, also has the ka sound. So these are skills, but when you write or transliterate, okay, you have to know what to put where, okay? All right, so let's keep going. Bakawala, so if you say it smoothly, bakawala. Okay, this is your ya. So this is the tetragrammaton, y'all, in the Paleo Phoenician Hebrew script, okay? So I'm just going to say Most High, okay? This is this word right here. This is the Elohim word, okay? In the Paleo Hebrew script, we would say Ahlahayaka, okay? Let's move on. We're on this line right now, so everybody can see the cursor. We're here. La Shamara. Okay, we go to the next word, which is here, It's la isawata, atakala. Okay, now we'll go to this word. Everybody follow along. We're here. This word right here. This is matazawa, matazawata, matazawatayawa, matazawatayawa. Okay, so let's move to the next word. You can see it gets a little bit challenging when you get a lot of pictographs, but with practice, your facial muscles, the muscles in your mouth, get used to this. Okay, so here we are right here. So this is the wakaka. See, same sound. This is actually CHAA. Okay, and this is QA, right? So I don't know if I say that, if you can hear a distinction, but I've heard other people say it and you can hear the distinction. But I'm not sure if I'm able to do that. So this is Wakakatayawa, Ashera, okay, Ashera. We'll go back here to this line. Here's this word. Now this can be confusing. This is na. Look at the pictograph. This is na. And I'm looking for, so this can be confusing. The na can be confusing with this right here. This is ga. But if you look at the top line and the angle of the line going, of the vertical line, the angles are different. And the na is more curved, whereas the ga is straight, and the angle is different. Now this also looks like pa, but I don't see pa here. Okay, but these are all skills that you have to practice and get used to. Okay, so this is ana. Okay, so anakaya, anakaya. Okay, anakaya. That's how that reads. That's how we would speak it, anakaya. Okay, anakaya. All right, so let's move to our next word. So this is matazawaka, matazawaka, matazawaka. Okay, let's move to our next word, which is here. I'm encircling it with the cursor. So this is the ha, ya, wa, ma, hayawama, hayawama. Okay, hayawama. Okay, let's go to the next word, which is here. I'm circling it with the cursor. Remember, far right to far left, right? So this is the wa, okay, ba, wa, wa, ba, awa, wa, ba, awa. And some people take issue with the ah sound of the words in this language. Okay, the way we speak it. Some people take issue with that. However, if you come to class, or maybe I'll do a video on it, I'll show you that this is in fact real, and that there is a major language in existence today where tens of millions of people are pronouncing words just like this. And these people are actually bloodline ascendants of the house of Yasharallah, okay? And that is fact, all right? So here we have what looks like a 0 or an O, which is pronounced I, but I is not a vowel, it is a consonant, okay? So I-la yaka, kala, right, kala. And this is the ha. Now in the case where you have a double pictograph, you can pronounce, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, at Zion Law School, I do not teach or follow any type of pronunciation scheme, okay? I pronounce, and I teach the scholars to pronounce every pictograph individually, okay? The reason I do that is because there's really no way in the world we can actually know if they follow a pronunciation scheme, okay? Well, that's the first thing. But more important than that is that each pictograph has its own cultural context, its own meaning. In other words, pictographs represent the way an object was used in a nation, Okay, that's what we call the cultural context. So the cultural context and the meaning, right? And that's the information that you would need in order to do a Hebrew word study. So I teach pronunciation of every pictograph because the cultural context is embedded in the word, right? It is embedded in the word. That is, in fact, what a Hebrew word study is all about. And that's what reveals deeper meaning that a word has. Okay, that's where you can mine the deeper meaning from a word. So in the case of here, where you see la la, okay, so because it occurs twice, what would we say? Well, just like anything else, if something is done twice, it's for what? It is for emphasis. It is for emphasis. Okay, it is for emphasis. All right, so that meaning or that cultural context is being emphasized in this word. Okay, and then of course that has meaning. That has meaning. So hala. So this would be ha la la wata. Okay, but if you wanted to only pronounce one, that's fine too. You can cancel it out. I'm not a big stickler on this. What's important to me is that you learn how to pronounce the words. You learn sight recognition, and you learn how to pronounce the words, and you develop the skill of being able to switch back and forth from speaking the Ibaryath and the English. That's what's important to me, okay? All right, so let's go to the next word. Here we have the ha again. So ha'alaha, ha'alaha, okay? Ha'alaha, all right. That was pretty easy, right? So this one is a very long one. Okay, as you can see, this is a very long one. So here we have the wa, the wahasa, wahasaya. Okay, remember the ga kind of looks like the na. Okay, ga kind of looks like the na. So make sure you know the difference. And then the waka. Okay, and then the waka. Right now, if you were to do a Hebrew word study, what you would find is that this is a 7 pictograph word, right? It has 7 pictographs, right? Each pictograph has its own, have their own meanings and cultural context, and you would put all that together and do your analysis to determine or identify the hidden meaning inside of this word. In other words, locked inside of the script. Okay, locked inside of the script, your job is to unlock it. Our job is to unlock it. But that's what your Hebrew root word study is. And sometimes I go through that in class, but not so often because it takes a lot of time. I did this, I think, more often in the 911 Ancient Phoenician Paleo Hebrew course. If y'all remember that free live online 8-week class, I think I focused a little bit of time on that. All right, so let's go to the English. We have 40 more minutes. I'm gonna stop this. Well, maybe 30 more minutes. I'm gonna stop this because at 9 o'clock I have to start the class. So if you're listening to this video now, or if you hear it later, I'm inviting you to come to class where we're going to go into all of this information in much more detail. The class is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a link you can click on in the description box. May also be in the comments, but definitely you can click that link in the description box, and then that'll take you to registration. And from registration, you'll get the link to enter the class, okay? So let's continue on. All right, but doesn't this, to me, for me, this looks very nice. I like the way the Paleo pictographs look. You know, it actually looks ancient too, doesn't it? Really, really like the way it looks. Okay, so let's go to the KJV rendering, how they render each word. Oh, I forgot. Let's take a look at these one by one. So the first word, and I'm going to skip over this, okay? The first word here, wahayaha, If you look at the cursor, it's but it shall come to pass. Okay, but it shall come to pass, right? Now, if you look down here at the rendering, the 1611 KJV, authorized standard, you'll see that right here. It says, but it shall come to pass. So you see that right here, but it shall come to pass, right? And you see the amma right here, amma. It's if thou. So now you see amma right here, if thou. Everybody see that? So that whole process is repeated, okay? Come to class and we'll get into a more discussion about what's happening here. So let's go ahead and read it. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power. There's a reason why I'm saying the Most High thy power instead of reading these English words, okay? Come to class and I'll teach you that. I'll teach you by showing you, not by telling you, but by showing you. To observe all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So let me stop the screen share because I want to go and take a look at this in the in another Bible version. So you can see what it says in more modern type of English, okay? In more modern English. So let me pull it up real quick. Oops, I pulled up the wrong one. Deuteronomy 28. All right, so let's take a look at this. NIV is pretty modern. It doesn't matter what version we look at because we learn how to deal with these. I teach you how to deal with any version, okay? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28. As you can see, Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's go up to verse 15. Let's look at it in the modern English. This is the NIV. Yeah, NIV. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. Here it is. You see this nice subheading here. Okay, curses for disobedience. So we're dealing with the contract or the covenant. Verse 15. However, if you do not obey the Most High your power, and do not carefully follow all his commands and decrees I am giving you today, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. Now you can compare that again to the English, I'm sorry, to the 1611 KJV authorized standard. Okay, you see it's different, right? The wording is different. Okay, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all of these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So this is a very fun part of what we do in this course. We analyze the English renderings, okay? And we get a lot out of that. There's a great discussion that can be had regarding why one Bible translator rendered a verse or a word one way, which is similar or different or completely different than another translator. Okay, so right now I'm standing on the edge of the information that will tell you why there are so many different Bible translations. Maybe you picked it up. If not, maybe you'll get it next time. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at the way each word is presented on the page. Now I teach this course as a graduate level course, okay? This is not a high school level or undergraduate level course that I teach. Regardless of how much formal education you may have had, you will do well in this course if you come and you participate. Okay, if you come to class and you participate, we give you 4 classes for free. You don't have to pay anything. You don't even have to buy the book. Of course, I would like for you to buy the book because the investment that you make helps me to continue doing the work that I do. So let's go ahead with the presentation of each word. So this, you see here, it says Phoenician Hebrew word. This would be the Ibaryath word, okay? This is the Ibaryath word, and you'll notice here, wahayaha, wahayaha, okay? The transliteration, wahayaha, all right? The goal is for, when you come to class, the goal is for you to be able to look at this word and pronounce each pictograph and to speak them smoothly, rather than relying on reading from here. So when you first enter the class, if you don't have the book, you will present this top word, but you'll read it from here. Okay. Now, if you buy the book, you can practice at home. You get to the point where you can speak this word without having to look here, right? The better you get, the more you'll be able to help yourself and the more you'll be able to help other people. Okay. This course is not about memorization. This course is about analysis. This course is about analysis, decision-making, and analysis, okay? Analysis. This is a graduate level experience, not an undergraduate level experience. Graduate level experience. This is knowing what data are, how to use it, okay? That means you know the relationships between the data, right? You know how the data is presented and constructed. You are brave, confident to make decisions regarding the data, and you have the confidence to do an analysis that you're not ashamed of, okay? And the way you get that confidence is by what we do in the school, which is ask and answer questions. You present and you facilitate, okay? You present, you facilitate, and you also evaluate your co-scholars. This is what builds confidence, okay? It builds confidence, but not only confidence, you will learn at a deeper level. Okay, so let's look at the part of speech. This is conjunctive. While all these terms are in volume 1 or volume 2, I put the grammar terms in, it may be in both, I don't remember. You know, once I finish a book and I go on to the next one, it's like my mind is completely off of it and onto something else, but it is in either the first volume or the second volume. So part of speech is conjunctive wa, verb form 1, perfect, third person, masculine, singular. So there's 7 verb forms that a word can be expressed in or a word occurs in, okay? You will learn these. These are like a toolbox with tools. You have your hammer, right? Your Phillips screwdriver, your vice grips, your plumber's wrench, so on and so forth. You use whatever tool that's going to accomplish the purpose that you want to accomplish. So if you're building a dresser, you might use Phillips screws, right? You might use glue, you might use clamps. So just imagine that verb forms are simply tools that allow you as the author to perform a function in the sentence. Okay, so the word performs a function in the sentence, just like a Phillips screw performs a function when you build, let's say, a dresser. Okay, so there's the perfect or imperfect tense, right? Then there's person, there's always first, second, third, there's gender and number. Okay, so part of speech of this word, wahayaha, is conjunctive wa, verb form 1, perfect, third person, masculine, singular, 1611 KJV, AV, renders this as, but it shall come to pass. We already looked at that. And the gloss renders it as, but he will come to pass. Okay, now I'm not going to go into all of the information that's in here. We'll do that in class, but there's a lot we can talk about and pull out of that. So root word, let's go take a look at the root word. The root word is hayaha. So here, I put in here exactly how to pronounce it. Hayaha, and this occurs everywhere through the book. Wherever you see the Paleo script, you'll see how to pronounce it, okay? So you won't have to stumble, okay? But the goal is to get to the point where you can speak these without needing this information. And it's okay if you don't remember. Sometimes I don't remember. right? Sometimes I forget. It's okay. So you just check it. All right, and this is your Strong's number. Strong's is a lexicon. Okay, it's a dictionary. It gives you a meaning. So this is a primitive root. Compare H1933. We do a lot of work when we see stuff like this in the course. There's a lot of information in that. To exist, i.e., there's a lot of information in that you can use for analysis. Be or become, come to pass, always emphatic and not a mere copula or auxiliary. Believe me, there's a lot of information here. Brown Driver Briggs, and we go through this quite often in the classroom. Okay, so come to class 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. So verb form 1, Brown Driver Briggs. This is our Brown Driver Briggs meaning, verb form 1. I'm only going to read through a few of these, okay, for the sake of time. 1A, to happen, fall out, occur, take place, come about, come to pass. Okay, now what do we see? We saw come to pass here, didn't we? See, we saw come to pass, right? We saw come to pass. Now let's take a look at 1A2, to come into being, become. Let's skip 1A. Let's go down to 1A3, to be. 1A3A, to exist, be in existence. And then let's go ahead and skip that. Okay. 1A2B, to become like, to stand, lie, be in, be at, be situated, with word of locality. So locality is what? A place, right? It also occurs in verb form 2. This word also occurs in verb form 2, right? Where its meaning changes to occur, come to pass, be done, be brought about, to be done, be finished, be gone, okay? In class, we do a complete analysis of these words, these meanings that are occurring per verb form. Okay, we do an analysis there. There's a whole lot of information in that we didn't go through. Prefix wa. Prefix wa, you'll learn what this is. Actually, you'll learn what a prefix is and everything else associated with that. So wa is the conjunction and, which can also be rendered but. Okay, the prefix wa reverses the tense of the verb. It is prefix to, thus, wahayaha means and he will be, but he will be. Okay, now let's go back and look at something interesting. KJV renders this, but it shall come to pass. So it's saying it instead of he. Okay, he instead of it. So is this good? Is it accurate? Is this good and accurate? Which is better? What do you prefer? Okay, I'll teach you how to make those decisions when you come to class. Saturdays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's go to our next Ibaryath word, ama. So for beginners, you'll read here the transliteration, ama. Part of speech is conjunction. What is conjunction? Refer to volume 1 or volume 2 of this book series, the Deuteronomy chapter 28. I Can Read book series, volume 1 or volume 2 has these definitions of the grammar. Both the 1611 and the gloss renders this word as if. Okay, this is a word. Okay, come to class, you'll understand why one is a root and why this is a word. Here's a Strong's number. You understand what that is when you come to class. This is a primitive conjunction. Brown Driver Briggs. Okay, it has several meanings. Okay, this ama can be used for conditional clauses, of possible situations, of impossible situation, oaths, no, not, so that would be negations, right? If, right? If statements, or for example, if then, if, similar. Whether or, okay, so statements that would follow this type of string. If you do that, if you do this, okay, since, interrogative particle, but rather, now let's go to the next Ibaryath word, la'a. Part of speech, adverb. This is a negative particle. Okay, both the 1611 KJV and the gloss renders it as not. Renders as not. All right, so this is a word, la'a, Strong's number 3808, a primitive particle, not. The simple or absolute negation. By implication, no, often used with other particles. Brown Driver Briggs, not. That's when used with the verb. Okay, absolute prohibition. We see absolute prohibitions where? In the Most High's instructions, right? You must not steal. Okay, you must not steal, etc. Not when used as a modifier, it's a negation, nothing, okay, without, before. Explanation, laha negates the action of the verb that comes immediately after it. Stated another way, laha negates the action of the verb it is associated with, which in this case is tashama'ai. Tashama'ai, and here we are, tashama'ai. This is the verb that comes immediately after. So our next Ibaryath word is tashama'ai. Part of speech is verb form 1, imperfect, second person masculine, singular. 1611 KJV, AV renders it as hearken. The gloss renders it as you will obey. Okay, so we can do an analysis on this, but just at the surface level, what do we see? We see this is one word, whereas this is 3 words. Okay, but I won't do any analysis beyond that. But we have deep discussions about this type of data in the course. Okay, so this is a root word. Remember, the last 2 were just words. Okay, Shema'ai, Strong's number 8085, a primitive root that means to hear intelligently, often with the implication of attention, obedience, etc., causatively, to tell, etc. There's a lot of information in here. Okay, a lot in there to go over. Brown Driver Briggs meanings. This verb occurs in verb form 1, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, 3 and 5. So let's look at some of them. To hear, okay, as perceived by the ear. Okay, to hear of or concerning. Okay, that would be in language, right? Could be through writing. To hear, for example, judicial case. 1A6, to listen, give heed. Let's look at 1A7. To consent, agree, to grant request, to listen to, notice this, to yield, to obey, to be obedient. 1A4, to understand. Okay, I like this one too. 1A3, to hear with interest or attention. Okay, or to listen to. Verb form 2, to be heard. To be heard. So in the case where someone is speaking, right? Through the sound of the ears. 1B3, to be regarded, be obeyed. Verb form 3, to cause to hear, call to hear, summon. Verb form 5, to cause to hear, tell, proclaim, utter a sound. 1D3, to make, proclamation, summons. And then I'll skip down to just 1D4, to cause to be heard, or okay, to sound. Okay. Now, there's a lot of information here. So prefix, whatever we deal with, prefix, suffix, infix, we know we're dealing with what? Morphology, right? And when we're dealing here, we're dealing with the etymon, the etymology, right? Terms all of us should know, and concepts we all should know and be able to work with. Okay, so prefix sa tells us that the verb shema'ai is expressed in verb form, in the verb form 1 stem in the imperfect tense, and that its subject is the second person masculine singular pronoun you. Explanation. Shema'ai expresses the simple action of the root shema'ai in the active voice. La'a negates the action of the verb that comes immediately after it. Thus, shema'ai, I'm sorry, let me see, I made, that was a perfect example of a mistake that's commonly made. When reading here, so let's start here. So la'a negates the action of the verb that comes immediately after it. Thus, Now, when you read English, the I automatically moves where? Here, right? I'm the one who wrote this. My eye should have gone here, but I did not look there. I looked to the far left, okay? So even if I make that mistake, if you make that mistake, don't worry about it, okay? When you're reading between English and the Ibaryath, check to see if there's a word at the far right, because what you'll do is what? You'll read the far right first. So you'll read la'a tashma'ai. La'a tashma'ai, okay? So thus, la'a tashma'ai, and then you go back here, it means, okay? You will not obey, you will not hear, you will not hearken, etc. All right, and so that was good. I made that mistake because it gave me a chance to go through that. Here is how tashma'ai is constructed. So this is the morphology, right? This is word morphology. The root shama'ai plus prefix tha, so here's the tha, right? Combined to form the word tashma'ai. This was very easy, okay? That was a very easy one. What time is it? Okay. All right. So our next Ibaryath word, here we are. So this is, oops, let me get it. Okay. Ba, ka, wa, la. So if you're a beginner, you'll read here. Okay. Ba, kawala. Ba, kawala. Okay. Ba, kawala. All right, so part of speech is preposition. It's a noun, masculine singular. So this means this is a masculine singular noun and construct state. Construct state is in volume 1 or volume 2 where that's explained, okay? 1611 KJV renders this word, bakawala, as unto the voice, whereas the gloss renders this word as on voice of. Right? On voice of, as opposed to unto the voice, right? So which is better in your opinion? And remember, all of this is based upon your skill set and your opinion. Now, this is the base word. The others were, we looked at a root word and we looked at words. So this is a base word. So what is a base word? Okay, come to class and find out. Strong's number 6963. The base word is ka, wa, la. Ka, oops, ka, wa, la. Kawala, kawala. Short spelling, kala. Okay, now that's a doozy right there. All right, from an unused root meaning to call aloud, a voice or a sound. Brown Driver Briggs, voice, sound, as in the sound of an instrument, lightness and frivolity, and there's a whole lot here. I wonder if Reggie is listening. Reggie has some experience with this, and I'm sure he has a lot he can say about this one. All right, so Reggie is one of the scholars at Zion Law School, very good scholar. Preference, a prefix, ba. Ba is the preposition in, at, by. Thus, bakawala, excuse me, means in voice, at voice, by voice, and is rendered unto the voice or on voice, etc. And we can have a discussion about this in class to see, to do some analysis to see which is more accurate and how we would render as individual scholars. Okay, because it's our obligation, our duty to the Most High. Every ascendant of the house of Yasharallah, it is your duty to teach your children. Well, of course, you'd have to teach yourself first, right? Teach your children the Most High's instructions. And there's absolutely no way you can do that without knowing the original language. There's absolutely no way you can do it because there are many instances that I've been able to show where the English is poorly translated or just an outright lie or outright deceit when you look at the meaning in the original Ibaryath, okay? It's just an outright lie. All right. So let's stop here, y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired of talking. I want to get some water. We'll pick this up in a couple days. All right. I'm going to do more of this. So this book is available on my website, zionlawschool.org. It's also available on Amazon, but I prefer that if you're going to buy the book, that you buy it on my website. Okay, don't buy it on Amazon because Amazon takes too much money. And I really only put it on Amazon so people can see it. So for example, I'll show you what I mean. You can look inside. You see this look inside feature right here. This is Amazon. See, this is I Can Read. This is the I Can Read brand, Deuteronomy 28, right? Volume 3. If you click on this image, you can look inside of the book. This is the only reason I deal with Amazon. You know, but if you want to support Dr. Yasapa and Zion Law School, then if you order any of our books, order them from zionlawschool.org, not on Amazon. But you can look inside of the books here. So like, for example, this is the table of contents. This is what we were just looking at. You see, you can go through it. But anyway, you can do this with my books. And I like the back of the book cover. I want to show you the back of the book cover. So for me, I like this, right? Reclaiming our heritage. And then you see the Paleo pictographs, right? Okay. And now, Yasharala, listen to the statutes and to the rules that I am teaching you to do in order that you may live and go in to take possession of the land that the Most High is giving you, okay, or giving your fathers to give you. So there it is, okay. These are some other books of mine. So come to class if you're able, 9 o'clock. That's in about 12 minutes, my time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. So I'm going to end this live stream. And hopefully I'll see you in the class. Okay, the link is either in the description box or it's in the comment section. Shalom, thank you for joining me. Share.